Wait, are you telling me 67% of you guys aren't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button now. Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another episode of the weekly championship predictions. How are we doing, Jamie?
I'm all good.
Good stuff. Right, last week I actually went up against Jamie as well. The result is up there. I haven't had it up yet. We are recording this on the Wednesday, so we don't know who won yet. And that is the results against the guests as well, so it's pretty interesting at the moment. I think I'm still beating them, but we'll see what happens. Just before we start, guys, I know that COVID's going on and there will be a few games called off because of COVID, but we're going to predict the set of fixtures in full anyway. So some of these might get called off, but we'll predict them anyway. Starting with a big battle at the bottom, Sheffield Wednesday versus Derby County. And this is quite an interesting one because they both picked up wins in midweek. Sheffield Wednesday winning after just sacking Tony Pulis, and Derby with a resounding 4-0 win at Birmingham. So this is a tough one to predict. I just think Derby have the better form coming into this, and I'm just going to back them because I'm not sure what's going on with Sheffield Wednesday's manager situation. I'm not sure if they've brought in a new manager just yet, but I'm going to go for Sheffield Wednesday 1, Derby County 2.
I personally think that Derby will just edge it a little bit. They're a little bit higher in the table compared to Wednesday, and yeah, I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0.
Yeah.
Okay. The next game is between Birmingham City and Blackburn Rovers. Now, both of these lost in midweek. Birmingham losing 4-0 against Derby County, Blackburn losing at Huddersfield. So both want to be getting back to winning ways in this one. It's a hard one to predict. Both of these teams are sort of inconsistent, really. Birmingham are, I think, 18th in the table. Blackburn around mid-table. It could go either way, this one, definitely. I'm just going to back Birmingham because of the home advantage, and I think after that 4-0 they really need to turn in a performance and improve drastically. So I'm going to go for 1-0 to Birmingham here.
Well, I don't think the home advantage will have much of an advantage because they don't really have the home fans there, do they, at the moment? And there is quite a big difference between Blackburn and Birmingham in the league. So I'm going to say Blackburn 1-0.
Blackburn 1-0?
Yeah.
Okay. The next game is between Brentford and Bristol City. Now, Brentford are a team that want to be getting automatic promotion this season. Meanwhile, Bristol City will probably be settling for trying to sneak into the playoffs this season. I think it'll be a tight game. Bristol City are no mugs in this division, despite me thinking Brentford are probably the better team. I think Bristol will give them a good game, and I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. What do you reckon?
I'm going to say 2-0 to Brentford.
Okay.
Like you say, they're trying for the playoffs. They're going to be trying hard to get as many goals in this season as they can, as many points. So I'm going to say 2-0 to Brentford. 2-0
to Brentford. Okay. The next game then is Huddersfield Town versus Reading Football Club. Now, Huddersfield picked up that win against Blackburn in the week, and they're going up against Reading, who are going to be trying to sneak into the playoffs, we said, this season. I mean, I've been impressed by Huddersfield recently, so I don't see why I won't predict them to win this one. I think Reading are a bit inconsistent. They're kind of struggling for a bit of form, so I'm going to go for Huddersfield to win this one. 1-0 to Huddersfield.
Going by the fact that Huddersfield are doing all right this season, I'm going to predict 1-0. Yeah, 1-0, yeah.
1-0 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. The next game then is Luton Town versus Queen's Park Rangers. Now, Queen's Park Rangers, actually, they picked up a decent draw at Norwich in the week. They came back from 1-0 down to pick up a draw, which is quite a decent result. Obviously, Norwich are top of the league. But Luton picked up a good result in the week as well. They beat Bristol City at home. So they're both coming into this with a little bit of confidence after their last results, but I just think Luton will be too strong, especially at home. QPR, for me, still not convinced massively that they're going to be absolutely safe this season, you know. I'm going to go for Luton to win this 2-0.
I may have to put a bet on the QPR maybe going down this season.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're not impressing me that much, especially as we beat them as well when we played them. I'm going to say 2-0 to Luton.
2-0 to Luton.
Yeah.
Okay, the next game is Millwall Football Club against Coventry City. Now, I'm not 100% sure if this game's going to go ahead. I believe Millwall's last 2 games have been called off due to COVID, but they might be back for this one. Coventry City, having just lost 2-0 to Preston, really poor performance. One of the poorest performances in a few months, actually, from us. I think we need to get back to, winning ways, hopefully, but I don't think we will against Millwall. I think what we're going to do is, because we're lacking the firepower, we're probably going to try and grind out a clean sheet and see if we can get something from there. Millwall this season, not totally convinced by. They're only just above us in the table, so I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. I think I'd take that.
Well, considering our last 2 games, I'm a little bit worried about way we're playing at the moment, I can see it going a 1-0 loss, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if we did beat them because they're only 2 points ahead of us. But then the gap between us and Cardiff would be quite considerable then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, there's a bit of a gap between the bottom teams and the mid-table teams.
Yeah, like if we do beat them, we may be the top of that bunch that the potential relegation teams.
The next game then is Norwich City versus Barnsley Football Club. Now Barnsley, really surprised by this season. They're playing some really good stuff. They beat Rotherham in the week, and I think they've put a few wins together actually. They're looking really good, and imagine if Barnsley could get into the playoffs this season. That'd be mental after the season they had last year where they just stayed up. But Norwich City, a very good team. I can't see many teams going to Carroll Road and picking up results, so I'm just going to back Norwich here, but Barnsley will probably give them a good game. Norwich 2, Barnsley 1.
Yeah, I was going to go for that as well. Stop reading my mind. Yeah, Barnsley will probably, like you said, Barnsley are going to give them a good game, but I don't think they're good enough for Norwich. They are flying flying higher and higher. I'm going to say 2-1 as well to Norwich.
Okay. The next game then is Preston North End versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, they've been okay. They've picked up a couple of draws recently, which is kind of just keeping them away from trouble, but they're still not. They still haven't got a massive gap over the bottom three, have they? But Preston North End, I've got to say, I was very impressed when they beat Coventry, and they are looking quite good. I think Preston have put 3 wins together. I'm going to say they'll put 4 together here. Preston 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
Well, I don't think Preston can score any more than 2, can they? But there's too much of a gap for me in the table. I'm going to say Preston 1-0.
Preston 1-0.
Yeah.
Okay. The next game then is Rotherham United versus Cardiff City. Cardiff lost to Wycombe in the week. They're going to be devastated by that. They'll want to get back to winning ways here. But Rotherham lost in the week as well, so they need to try and get back to winning ways because they're second bottom now. So this is a massive game where both teams need to get something, I think. I'm going to go for a draw though. I think both teams will cancel each other out. I'm going to go for an entertaining one. Rotherham 2, Cardiff City 2.
That is actually quite an entertaining one. I was going to go 1-1, but I'm going to go 0-0, but now you said that, I'll probably say 1-1. Because Rotherham, they're not really impressing me this season. Like when we played them last season in League One, they were quite a hard side to get through their defence. They've got quite tall players and everything. But no, they're not impressing me this season. But I will say 1-1 still.
Okay. The next game is Swansea City versus Watford Football Club. Now, this is quite an exciting game, probably the best of the games at the weekend. I think Watford and Swansea both want to get an automatics this season. I've got to say Swansea have took a lot of us by surprise by how well they're doing. I'm rooting for Swansea. It'd be great to see Swansea get back into the Premier League. But Watford, it's going to be a tricky game. I just think with Swansea, the way they're playing, especially at home, I just think they're going to win this. Swansea are very good at home. Swansea 2, Watford 0.
Well, they're being both top teams. I'm thinking outside the box. I'm probably going to say Swansea 3 and then Watford make it 1 and then in added time Watford get a second.
So
3-2 to Swansea.
3-2 to Swansea.
Yeah.
Okay. The next game then is Wycombe Wanderers versus Middlesbrough Football Club. Now Wycombe picked up a crucial win, fair play to them, against Cardiff City in the week. Middlesbrough lost at the weekend though, so they need to try and bounce back from that. It's a tricky one. I just think with Middlesbrough, they're just a very solid championship team and not many teams can beat Middlesbrough. I think Neil Warnock will go to Wycombe and he'll know what to do to get the result here. Wycombe 0, Middlesbrough 2.
Yeah, Middlesbrough, I think they're just going to demolish Wycombe. I'm going to say 3-0 to Middlesbrough.
3-0 to Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. And the final game is Stoke City versus Bournemouth. Now, Stoke have been fairly decent so far this season. I think they've drawn their last couple of games, but they're not far from the playoffs. Bournemouth, meanwhile, doing pretty well. They're trying to get into the automatics this season. I think Stoke are quite stubborn, so I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw.
I was actually going to say 2-0 Bournemouth.
Okay,
Yeah.
not stopping you.
Yeah, 2-0 Bournemouth, what's third in the league. Like you said, looking for automatic promotion. They're going to be playing hard. Yeah, 2-0 to Bournemouth.
2-0 to Bournemouth. Yeah. Okay, that completes today's video, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know down in the comments what you predict for this weekend's fixtures as well. And we'll see who got more predictions right in the next video. Peace out.